Here at AfterBuzz TV, we're bringing you RuPaul's Drag Race, Season 10, Episode 4, The Last Ball on Earth. We have so many balls to discuss in the mini challenge and in the maxi challenge. And then we have our special segment, a mirror moment, and some cool shout outs. Stay tuned.
You're tuning into the destination for TV super fan discussion, AfterBuzz TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Yeah! Woo! I am 123 Jackie B, your host for RuPaul's Drag Race here on AfterBuzz TV. With me is LoRayne Love, the one, the only Marche Freeman. I have Ollie Dreamer, and I have Ronnie Jr. here. We are going to discuss some drag. That episode was everything. What did you guys think?
It was really good.
It was really good.
Loved it.
It was warm, and we needed warm.
We did need warm.
I still think of the donkey kick with Eureka and Monet, and I could see that playing in my head over and over.
That killed me.
Yeah,
Eureka
it was just
is good for comedy.
Yeah, it was definitely a good episode because I feel like everyone got like good screen time. I feel like, in my opinion, except for Cameron. Sorry, Cameron.
Cameron hasn't had a
know.
side.
She has not had a mirror moment. She needs a mirror moment.
Yeah.
She does.
She'll get it.
Oh, and talk about moments. I know. We'll say it later. RuPaul and the fabric that just kept...
Raven must not have showed up that day.
I saw that meme. I saw that meme.
I put it as
Raven was there that day. I will tell you that. Raven was there.
I did put it as like a second segment to discuss her outfit because choices.
That was a choice.
Thank you.
But we started off with the mini challenge, which is a celebrity photo bomb. I do enjoy the fun photo challenges. It does remind me of the America's Next Top Model.
Mm-hmm.
Which I love it seeing the drag queens do like the America's Next Top Model type of like challenges. Mm-hmm. So did you guys have a favorite? I had a favorite.
Whose was your favorite?
Asia, her face kills me. She can make the funniest faces and I just laugh like so much.
She gave that hoedown face, I thought.
Yeah.
It kind of was that same family, yeah.
Yeah.
I
was just like laughing so hard. She gives good face.
I liked Aquaria. I thought it was a very justified win for Aquaria, and finally she's getting like, I don't know, she's living up to the measure, as she would say when she first entered.
The only thing I felt about Aquaria's win was the win wasn't necessarily based on like her giving good face. It was like based on a cute idea, like a gag.
Yeah.
So I
Which
get that.
A lot of the queens did. Like Vixen did it, Cameron did it. So,
like I felt bad for Monique. No, Dusty. Dusty, I guess, could have had something really exciting because of Michelle Obama, but there wasn't a lot of room, like space to play. Whereas Blair had Beyonce, which is, a lot of people's queen bee, and all that room. So I felt a little like challenge for Dusty on that particular one.
Yeah, I do know they started with Miss Cracker again. I didn't tell if it was the same lineup as last time, like they did it in the same order.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, she always goes first.
Yeah, and I was like, don't do the thing you did with Alaska, which is like favor this queen. Like I understand she's good at what she does, but come on, mix it up.
Did you guys like Monique with the crotch grab? I thought that was pretty cool.
I don't think she deserved to win. Even though she thinks she deserved to win.
Oh, but I mean, you can't knock a drag queen's confidence, though.
No. Well, we did when it was Milk's, for the record.
Okay, Milk was overly confident for not.
No. You cannot. No. You cannot get mad at Milk and then be okay with Monique. Sorry.
Mark has woken up from the
Wait, Mark. Who did you like in the mini challenge?
I liked Miss Cracker and Dusty.
Okay.
I thought they were both.
Oh, you did like Dusty. Give me the brain. How you went there mentally, because Dusty I want to like, and I like Dusty as a performer, but I did feel, as I just stated, there was no room to play. So the face alone you thought was strong enough?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah,
I'll have to rewatch that.
And I liked all, because they showed several different things that she was doing, and I thought everything that she was doing, there were probably multiple pictures they could have picked from her. Mm-hmm. Other people's, I was just like, I don't even remember Asia's, to be honest with you. So. But yeah.
I am just like an Asia stan at this point.
No, that's fine. That's fine.
This
good
was
for
a
you.
good episode for
Unabashed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I am an unabashed Milk fan, and I will defend her. And We will
You
move,
like crooked wigs, and
and
that's
we will
okay.
move right along.
Oh, there she goes.
I didn't hear what you said. What did you say?
You like crooked wigs, and that's okay.
I do.
Oh,
I
no,
do.
she better don't.
I do. I do. And she should be proud of everything that she's done and be proud of it and think that she's the best.
So
And think that she should have won.
we also had a visit from Sean from Pit Crew, an old
Sean!
favorite.
I missed him.
I
Yeah.
love
Where's
Sean.
he been? Why?
I know. I follow him on Instagram. I've known him since I moved to LA. And he's at, I think, what's the one in Los Feliz? The bar there?
Person?
That I never go to, that I've never been to.
Oh,
There's-
Kenny would
precinct.
know.
The precinct.
Kenny would know.
No, that's downtown. Anyways, there's a bar, like a leather bar in Los Feliz that I've never been to, but he works there, and so he's always doing recaps and stuff there. So I see his posts and everything. He's a fun guy.
I love how it was titled, Pit Crew alum.
Alum.
I'm pretty sure you'd still like a check if a check wanted
I know,
to be
right?
provided, you know.
Yeah.
Well, maybe he's getting money somewhere else. So,
Yeah.
That's
Good
true.
for him. Good for him. So we have a live read from Maria's show. Ronnie?
Oh yeah, I want to tell you about the Maria show. We of course appreciate that you watch the AfterBuzz show for RuPaul's Drag Race. A lot of different topics, but one of the things that you want to do outside of watching us is check out hers. Maria Menounos has been a TV reporting legend, all the red carpets. Well, she has conversations with Maria Menounos. This is on SiriusXM. What they've done is put all of that great content together at the end of the week, and each Friday, Jackie, they do like a free podcast, which is going to be released. Same name, Conversations with Maria Menounos, and you could download that. Check it out through iTunes and comment and all that good stuff. So very simple.
Check it out
yeah.
and say we sent you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Ollie's making a bid to get Maria to be a judge
Yes.
next year, maybe
Yeah.
on Drag Race.
Oh, yeah,
she
I would
loves
love
drag
that.
too, so you
That'd
know.
be
Yeah.
iconic, and for
I
her
would
to
love
like
that.
talk about it like a year later, that'd be awesome.
I love
Yeah.
Tisha Campbell and Logan Browning as
Yeah.
the judges.
Yes.
My favorite still was Padma, but
yeah, because she actually had a very thoughtful critique, where as a lot of people who come on, they're just trying to get the jokes in, you know.
Oh,
and I
right.
get that too. Like I totally get that. But
Eagle and Fault Line in Los Feliz. Thank you, David.
Okay.
Thank you, David.
All right.
Yeah. Sorry. Had to get that out
We
there.
got to make our pit crew.
Gratuitous plug for somebody who doesn't give us money.
so anyway, we had the Maxi Challenge. There were 3 looks. This was based on global warming, and I do love that RuPaul is very passionate about politics, and so he's trying to bring in, I guess, little like segments that relate to politics and to things that he is passionate about. So he's passionate about global warming, so he brought this fun ball challenge to bring awareness to that.
Yep.
And so they had Alaskan Winter Realness, which is actually the summer outfits.
Right. It took me a moment.
You weren't the only one.
It took me a moment.
I'm still
Yeah.
confused, really.
Yeah.
Like,
It
Yeah.
took me a moment, but I realized that they flipped them because the idea is that global warming messes
Well, yeah.
with
Right.
the poles, and so
Right.
like you'll have cold things happening
Yeah.
in traditionally warm places.
Well, no, and it does make sense, and I think we all grasp that fairly quick. What was hard is to remember what I actually watched and
Yes.
what looks that I like, you know.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
There were
I
so many.
have a
Oh,
cheat
yeah.
sheet right here.
But it
so.
was cool because as much as we like the ball challenges later on, it's cool to see what these queens are capable of early
Yeah.
on. So it's because like these queens get eliminated, and we never get to see what they have to offer later on. So
Yes.
it's kind of
Right.
I kind of liked it that they changed it this season.
And let's be real, a lot of us come to watch Drag Race to see awesome outfits.
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally.
I do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought the same thing. I was like, well, it's nice that, I mean, I don't think it should be strictly based on looks. Sorry, Aquaria. There should be other things to be the next drag superstar. But I was very thrilled to see 3 11 people runways. And yes, Ollie is wearing a Miss Cracker t-shirt.
Yeah.
Shout out to Miss Cracker. I'm a Cracker stan.
Yeah, Miss Cracker's team actually send that to Ollie, and we'll be sending.
Ollie,
the
where did
rest.
you get it if they're asking?
I'm joking.
in the chat
I'm
room?
joking.
No, just go on misscracker.com and she has
Oh,
a
okay.
shop.
There you go.
I was
She has a
joking.
new shirt out, so.
There you go.
I was just trying to get you to get other people to send you shirts.
Oh.
That's why.
Send me shirts.
Yeah.
Oh, and
That was the only reason I-
also.
She's an
I'm
extra
looking-
small. I'm an extra large.
Oh yeah, I'm
Just
looking
for the
for a
record.
sugar daddy, just like
I'm
Miss
a
Cracker.
room for your
That was an
That was a
awesome
great moment.
That
That
was
was
a
a great
great
moment.
Oh my god.
So they're Alaskan Winter Realness, Miami Summer Realness, and Martian Eleganza Extravaganza.
Extravaganza.
So we did the same thing we did last time, which is we picked our top 3 favorites of each category and then our bottom 1 in each category. So Ronnie, for the Alaskan Winter Realness, who your top 3, your bottom 1?
I will go with.
For each look, we're doing this one?
So okay,
Yes,
so this
for
is
each
the
look.
Alaska one, which is really more of a summer look.
Right.
Okay.
Yes.
In
Correct.
global warming. Okay. I'll go with Cracker. I know at first I had looked and looked for the detail, and once I understood what the detail was and the hair, I was like, oh, okay, cool. You know, also the hair as the skirt too.
Yeah.
So I liked it. It wasn't as impressive as a normal Cracker thing, but it still was stronger than a lot of the other girls. Also for this look, I liked Blair quite a bit. I guess she had like
The Barbie
like
thing.
yeah, it really worked for her very, very well.
Yeah.
A lot of times we talk about Blair not fitting into things properly, but
Yeah.
being strong everywhere else. That was not a problem there. And surprisingly, yes, it was completely boy body, but it was also completely abstract and strong and punishing in a way. I thought the Vixen, I really bought what she was selling and the way she played with the color of the purple hair to the illusion of the skin. Well, it wasn't much illusion, but I liked how all that was played pretty nice. So those are my top 3.
And your bottom?
For that one, God, everyone did so good. I strive so hard with Monet, so if Monet doesn't do it, I have got to call her on it. And she knows that was a rough one.
It was just weird because I had such high expectations from Monet because of her previous looks in the previous episodes that this episode I felt she really let me down because I was anticipating like something that would make my face melt off.
Well, and it's like Cracker says, you have to bring it every single time.
Yeah.
And sometimes we judge judgmentally. Like I'm a huge Monet fan. Probably she may be the one that I follow the most based on YouTube or her sibling rivalry podcast with Bob. Or I'm really like in the Monet train. But if it's bad, it's bad. You know, and we could all accept that. So.
And she, you know, she gets so into her like her challenges that you're like, okay, she's gotta like really, there's gotta be a point where she's now gonna step up and be like finally get there.
Right.
And then this just was not that.
Yeah.
So anyway.
My turn?
Yeah, sorry.
Okay, no, it's totally fine.
Go ahead, Ollie.
I'm glad you gave Cracker credit this week because I really liked her swimsuit. I didn't realize it was hair until I saw like the hula, the green hair in the back. I just imagined how long that must have took to make. So I really liked it. She sold it. I also loved Monique's look. I know Mark's just like, oh my god, I hate your choices.
Was that the watermelon?
It was the watermelon look, and she had the braids. I loved it. I loved how she was walking down the runway in that freaking swimsuit. It was really cute.
Yeah.
And I just love Monique. Like I really do love Monique.
She's the ooh ah ah.
I look forward to her.
Ooh la la sensation.
Yeah, I look forward to seeing her every single week.
Good.
And then I also love Aquaria's look. I know Mark is just like,
It's
what are
okay.
your picks? So yes,
It's okay.
and in the bottom, I would have to say a Dusty Ray bottom because that I didn't like it at all. The only good thing was the hat, and the rest was very pedestrian with like the tights, and she had like it was cool to see like the gloves, how she had the dots on them, but I just thought it was very lackluster in comparison to the rest of the girls.
Okay, fair.
So yeah, those are my choices.
Top, Eureka, Cracker, and Blair. Bottom is, who did I say? Asia.
Do you have explanations on some of those?
I liked 3 of them and hated 1 of them.
Oh, practical. Okay. Well, I'm glad you're a conversationalist.
Keeping it simple. I'm keeping it simple.
All right, next topic.
So I liked Cameron's. I don't think any of you had
Oh, I
liked
loved
No.
Cameron's too.
Hers was kind of like the Real Housewives on the beach thing. I did love that. I got the
She
story.
was like,
I loved the
was she
story.
cinched or like how she?
I have no idea how she did.
Yeah.
It was a
Yeah.
close
I
call.
forgot about
She was
that.
up there. I don't know if I loved the hat though. Like, was I missing the mark on the hat?
Why does everyone
I
hate
love
the
those
hats?
I love.
Oh, see, well, it could
those
be me.
hats.
As you could see, I'm highly unfashionable, so it could be that I'll give myself the.
No, it's just because
Oh, no,
I
you're
love
not.
wearing those hats. Like I love that. Yeah.
No, you're right.
About what? Oh,
It's not good.
You don't like the hat either.
No.
I mean, it's not bad. It wasn't bad, but it was. I could tell you if she didn't have the hat, I would have maybe rose her to one of my.
It
top 3.
wasn't my cup of tea, but I'm glad that Jackie and Oliver loved it.
Oh my God, he's in rare form today. He talked about
I
milk
have
already.
one of those hats and I'm wearing it in the next episode.
And you should, and it probably will look great on you.
I'm gonna buy one of those hats on Tuesday, and I'm gonna wear it too.
Well, I said this with what was her name from season 8 from New York. Very clownish.
Thorgy. She was on she was on All Stars.
When she did her outfit and she wore a hat like that. Watch the Toot It and Boot It with Raven and Raja for this episode, and Raven will show you how a drag queen wears a floppy hat.
Okay.
It is everything, and it's huge. When you put one of those store-bought, it's got to be if it's going to be store-bought, it's got to be big. And it just looked like a little dinky thing sitting on her head. Okay, I'm done.
So then my next one was Vixen. I agree with you, Ronnie, where I love that outfit. It was very like forward thinking, very different.
The Vixen, Chicago's finest, yeah.
Is that like plastic?
Not saying much for Chicago.
Oh, come on. Don't go at Shea Coulee like that.
And then
Oh,
Blair. And then
Thank you.
Blair, obviously the Barbie outfit. My bottom was actually Aquaria, and that's because I made the argument that everyone else, when they were watching everybody else's outfits, they were like, I don't understand, you did the wrong story, And I'm like, I don't know what a luchador has to do with
Thank you.
global warming.
Thank you.
When they said it was all synonymous, like her looks were synonymous with each other, I totally didn't get that. And I will say, credit her other two looks I kind of liked.
Yeah.
But that one really made no sense to me.
Made no sense.
Cutesy, but it didn't make sense to the story.
But it was luchador inspired by like swimwear, I guess.
Yeah, but that wasn't the
But I
challenge.
don't know why she did that.
That wasn't the challenge.
I don't.
That's a good
she
question.
didn't even.
I thought it looked sickening,
There wasn't,
though.
usually if I actually don't know if she's Hispanic or not, but it's like you would usually say something like, "Oh, this means something to me because of X reason," and there wasn't that explanation. So it's just like you're dressing like a luchador for I don't know why.
She even said it. I made this in
college.
and I've been dying to wear it. Boom. There's why she's got it on.
But
She didn't want to have to buy something else. She did have another bathing suit. She said, I'm going to wear this and I'm going to make it work. Boom.
But wait, this is Drag Race season 10. Are you supposed to make it work? Like, I understand she has something great, this great costume for something else, but this is Drag Race season 10. Aren't you supposed to match what they call on?
Preach.
Yeah, that's my.
But you kind of come to the show with like a predetermined set of like outfits because they give you like a rundown of what to expect.
They tell you what looks to have.
I really liked it, but I totally see where you guys are coming
great.
from.
I'm glad that you did.
But like, that's something that I really like Miss Cracker for is because she has a concept with each of her outfits. So that's something that Aquaria doesn't have. So
Yeah.
Yes.
Anyway.
Yeah. So Miami Summer Realness, Ronnie.
Okay. Let's let Ollie go first because he's got his written down. I'm still on the bubble here.
Oh, this
would have been the ice
winter.
look. Yeah.
Okay, I got this. Even though I didn't like the rest of her looks this week, I loved Monet's winter look. It was awesome. It was very simple, and I loved when she came on and she just breathed like the shot of ice that came out of her mouth. She had the white eyes, which is perfect for this particular challenge because I don't like the white eye contacts typically. I loved Aquaria's look as well. It's probably my favorite look this week, and I'd say Cracker. Cracker also.
As your top, what about anyone really discourage you as a bottom?
Oh God. Are we talking about the show still? No.
Ollie!
So it's really actually hard to choose. I don't have anything written down for my bottom, but off the top of my head, I would say Monique. And I love Monique's looks, but I didn't like this look.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
I love the face. She gives such great face. She can paint, and the hair, but it just looked a little frumpy on her.
The whole thing was a mess.
We're talking about the second,
We're talking about the second.
The wintery
Monique,
look.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay. I'm very in agreement to a lot of them. I had different choices, but in agreement to a lot of what you said. And for the record, I would say this episode, you guys, for me at least, was one of the most where I watched and loved more than I had discouraging comments. And even the ones that were discouraging were very like, maybe it could be a little better by trying this. But I really was in a moment where I was like, this episode was really fun, and people turned it. I'll start with my who I liked for this Miami winter look, whatever. I really like Monet Exchange, and a lot of that has to do with the fact that I, of course, like her, but she had two other challenging looks. This one was narrowed in, and it was good. I like the use of the lighter tone in the top of the face and the black lip. I felt that really had a nice hodgepodge that worked out really well. And I liked the way the coat looked like a walk home after a good night on the boulevard, and then the coat came open and then the gown was really cute, so I was really into Monet. I was also almost into Blair, but I felt like it was a little simpler than I needed. And Cameron was my number 2 pick, and then my 3rd pick would have been I can't link we'll go with Eureka on that one because yeah. So, not much explanation. It's just I hadn't really been a Eureka fan, but when I saw everything she did this week, I was like, wow, she's really done. This was her week.
Yeah, she is good with outfits.
Yeah.
So, did you have a bottom?
Oh, shoot. I was supposed to mention Aquaria because she was actually good on that challenge. The bottom would have been probably just Blair because it was so good, but it was also like, God, that didn't look...
Simple.
That doesn't look like a drag queen. at all.
It was
Yeah.
very
It was way
simple.
like when you're gonna come in wearing a coat, I expect a reveal. Like that's just it. It's like if you're gonna only wear a coat, I expect the second
Yeah,
thing to be
it was
revealed.
fish literal interpretation, which was great. But I mean,
Yeah.
don't we want a little more? Yeah.
Yeah.
So Mark.
My top three were Eureka, Monet, and Cracker. And I'll give honorable mentions to Aquaria, and I liked Monique's.
You liked Monique?
I did. I did. I
Now,
thought
this
it was
is,
cute.
This is the one where she's got the pink garment.
Yeah.
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 What did you like about her pink sweatsuit?
I just thought it was cute. I thought it was different. Like everybody else's kind of went down the same path. I liked that it was a little different. I liked that it was all pink, monochromatic. I don't know. I don't know. It was just one that came up that I was like, oh, I like that.
Out of Monique's three, I was gonna say that was my least favorite.
Yeah.
Of
That was
hers.
my most favorite of her three.
Okay.
And then my least favorite was Vixen.
I can attest to that.
I mean,
it
it
was
was
messy.
She pulled that out of a
Wait,
Halloween
is
box.
this the one with the deer,
Yeah.
the deer, and the,
Yeah.
the like a? Oh,
I saw. See,
I
for
didn't
her,
have a problem with that.
Yeah, for me it was like an almost there because this season. Every
Almost
season
where?
on Drag Race. Okay, so every season on Drag Race, the queens.
Depends where you're going.
The queens get more and more perfectionistic, and so you get these queens earlier on who are going home that you're like, fuck, they're so talented and they're already going home. In this one, like, I got what she was saying. She was doing like a Into the Woods snow time fantasy thing. It's just that the bottom,
But it was
the
The bottom
Miami.
was short.
the
It-
thing
you
that
see her
bothered me
feet.
was that the bottom, like if you're going to do that like Scarlett O'Hara
Yeah.
kind of like bottom dress, I wanted to hit the ground and it was like crooked.
Wait, what do you mean? But it's Miami. I don't understand that part.
Well, it's Alaska winter and Miami summer was the challenge.
But the summer is the
But-
winter.
they're playing that.
I
it's
know, I
winter,
get that.
And maybe she played it as the woods. You know.
But the woods in Miami?
Well, if it's climate change, she maybe it was poking into that.
Well,
You-
just saying. It's Miami.
Oh, you didn't
Miami.
you didn't live for it. Okay.
It's Miami. No, I did
Well, it's
not.
also
And you're
not-
not going to convince me that it's good.
Well, no,
it was
there's
a
also-
box.
there's
It was a
also
box
not Miami
dress
winter,
that she
though.
put on and put some petticoats under and glued some antlers on her head. Let's not mince
Let's go to
words.
the other one though. You didn't like her highly nude
No.
look. See, none of her looks were good for you.
No.
So Vixen is still on your on your
Should have been at the
radar.
bottom. This is like the second week she should have been in the bottom.
She had some early episodes that I was like, ouch. But I thought this was the week she stepped it up. Yeah. No,
Well,
no,
when the
Mark-
bar's
Who is,
here, that's
who
not
is
hard.
your top, Jackie?
Okay, so I had, okay, let me just preface with every time I hear this winter realness, I go immediately to like fantasy movies, like that Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe kind of thing. And so Mayhem, yes. She was giving me like Snow Queen all over the place. Cameron, same thing, like that high fantasy.
A lot of people
Snow
didn't like
Queen.
it, and I thought what was special about Cameron is that she was so diverse this week. I thought,
I love that.
and I like that it was like ugly pretty, and I love the
Yeah.
outfit.
Yeah.
The face was maybe it could have been a little bit better, maybe edit a little bit more, but yeah, I
I
liked
feel
it.
like that ugly pretty is the future of drag. Like you can do, you're doing your interpretation on a theme, and so that was her interpretation. She still looked like she still had a nice silhouette. It was just that like the face was maybe like frozen off or something. And then, sorry, what was that? Cracker. I love that 1950s, 60s
Yes.
kind of thing. I love that. And then the bottom was Monique. The hair was a mess. It was just like wig on wig on wig on wig tied together, and then a pantsuit that didn't fit. Which Monique was another one that disappointed me because for Monet and Monique, I was both expecting them because I have such high expectations and hopes of them. I was expecting them both to kind of like step it up.
Yeah.
And
I just don't understand that Monique look. That's where I'm like, I'm challenged. I'm willing to
it
ask.
was like Paris Hilton circa 2005, and I was not happy.
Yeah, there might be an explanation where someone gets it more, but I don't understand where she was going. But you know,
Kind of Ariana Grande a little bit, but it just looked a little dated.
If Ariana Grande didn't know how to put her clothes on.
It was really big on her, I feel like.
yeah, she looked like the Golden Girls rather than a drag queen or something. I don't know.
Yes!
Yeah, something
Yes,
like
she
that.
did. So Martian Eleganza Extravaganza. Let's switch it up, Mark.
Martian, I loved Cracker. Cracker should have won. She should have won the whole
Absolutely.
challenge, plain and simple. Eureka, I loved, was everything. And I was just trying to think of like who my third would be. because everybody else was just kind of okay. I guess if I had to give a third place, I'd give it to... I actually liked Monet's. I don't know why that one wasn't... it may not have been, like, bedazzled to the extent that Cameron does, but I actually liked it. I thought it was cool. And bottom for that, I would say Vixen, hands down. Horrible. Horrible. Horrible.
The
Horrible.
execution of that was just so bad.
Horrible.
It was
That's
so
mine
bad.
too.
Horrible.
And she wore her promo look. I always get so annoyed when they wear their promo looks. Like some piece from her promo
Yeah.
look. She wore that in her promo look. And I'm like, ah. I think Asia might have done it too. I don't know with the suit. It looked.
Oh, yeah,
It looked similar to it. It wasn't the same.
And it just
It
irks
wasn't
me.
the same.
But anyway,
Yeah.
I thought Vixen's was really bad this week. And I know it's like a construction challenge. You have to make it yourself, but
Yeah.
it just looks so sloppy.
But we know that in the past, some people have done construction challenges out of like such wacky materials and made something great. I mean, just look at the other queens, in the episode. But this one looks so glued on and middle school project that I was not down with it.
Oh, so, sorry.
Give yours,
My
yeah.
top were Cracker. I loved it. I was like kind of shocked that she was so shocked that she was going to be ostracized for being so literal with it, but I thought it looked so good.
Yeah.
And I liked Monique's. I liked the reveal. It could have been a little bit better, but I just loved the reveal that she did, and I thought she sold it. And I'd say Blair for top as well, because it was just looked really pretty, and I love Blair. She always looks so cute. I'm
is
sorry.
really
Like
cute.
I really do love Blair a lot.
I started real strong on Blair in my decision making, but then I went back and looked at it, and I was like, it just felt very like a Power Ranger. It just
But
still...
it's Martian. It's
I know, but when
Martian.
and you're right, and maybe being simple is the way to go, because I really liked it originally. But
It
when
looked. She constructed it well too, I think.
yeah, it just made me think, God, that looks more Power Ranger, and it just, I don't know. And in comparison, it just didn't really have the shine that
I
these
thought her other looks were a little bit too pedestrian, and I really like this one.
Yeah.
So that's why.
Well, and with that said, Blair did good. I just think so many people did so damn good. You didn't think this particular runway, you didn't like a lot of them? You said this was the weaker of your choices?
Of Blair?
No, of everybody.
Oh, no, I thought it was good.
Yeah, because I had
thought
a
it was good.
really hard time, you guys,
Yeah.
narrowing it down. So I don't think Aquaria was the number one in that
Oh,
one.
yeah.
I feel really bad for Dusty for taking a shot. Like, it really was not good. I know that the body really didn't have a good silhouette, none of that. But then I really appreciated it for when I think of Blair getting away with what she got away with, and then I think of what Dusty tried to do, and then I'm thinking like the bars and the wires and this
It made me so angry that they ripped Dusty for this particular look because I felt like it was the strongest out of all of her looks because it spoke the most to the challenge. And I really didn't think it looked that bad. I didn't.
Yeah.
Her last one?
Yeah.
No, I didn't think so either.
I
think
yeah.
her
I'm
hair,
sorry.
I feel like she needed like a bigger, some kind of bigger
I
hair
wrote that in my
to
notes.
balance it out.
Something.
Yeah.
It just seemed a little, she had a welding mask. There was a shot of her playing with a welding mask. I wish she would have wore that. I wish she would have wore that because I think, like I don't know. Yeah, I agree with you. I didn't think hers was that bad either.
Yeah, no, but that's what this episode was, where I would be like, no, I thought she took so many risks, but I guess they didn't get fully executed. Again, makes me very excited to say, because I honestly asked last week, what is it about Eureka? Because I don't really like the personality too much. It is what it is, but I want to, like her work. This was a really strong week for her. So I was able to tell everybody that, there's no denying this this last look that she had with the beautiful headpiece and the shoulder garment also matched. And, just even when we talk about the body, Cameron or these littler queens, they could play with their body a little easier, I would say. As a chubby person, my damn self, I know it would be challenging. So I gave her a lot of credit for being able to execute all that she executed. So that one was really good. I actually liked Mayhem's a lot. I was okay with it. Or not okay with it, I actually liked it. And I guess my third one, I would go with Asia. I was really into the Asia, the last one. Could my heart, and I know it's mirror moment, but could my heart have been attached to what had happened?
Yeah. Must
be.
Maybe, but I also really was into the delivery, I'll say that. I was into the delivery, the way the hands move, the Hunger Games ideology she put into it, the little detail with the balls and the way her eyes conveyed the message. I wasn't off by it at all. I kind of liked it.
You could see where that as a drawing, like if somebody drew it as a concept, that would be really cool.
Yeah.
And you could see where had she had more time, it would have been
Bingo.
executed really well.
Yeah. Yeah, but I'm still welcome enough to put her in my top though. I think I'm still like okay with it because
That's wonderful.
she's giving me consistency. But
Who was in your bottom?
I do. I think that's wonderful.
the worst one in that little group would have been God. Cameron was really good too. The worst in that group, God, everyone did pretty well. I guess it would have to be like a Dusty or Blair per how I just stated. Yeah.
So for me, I would say Aquaria. I actually really did love, like, that was one of my favorite looks, that like whole like zigzag conceptual thing. And especially because when she had it in the workroom and she was cutting it out of the cardboard, everybody was like, what the hell is this? What is it going to be? And I had that notion that I was like, oh, that's going to be dumb. And then when she turned around and made it something so cool and so unexpected, I was very pleased by that. Eureka, total, like that red total alien to me, so cool. And then Crackers, I think that was like, Cracker had a really strong week. That was completely on topic.
Yeah.
The fish bubble.
Yeah.
And I wonder if we judge Cracker, this is just me, because in theoretics, I want to give Cracker all these darn awards every week we're here. But it's because we know she's doing so well, or Jackie's made comments about the editing too, and it's like, it makes me think, like, am I being more harsh? Like, she really has to bring something amazing for me to, like, award her something as a top. Because I like a lot, but I don't always put her as my top.
I do agree with Mark that I think this week she should have won.
Yeah,
like, I think
I
this
agree.
was her week, and
All three of them were very cohesive.
And they had her lose against Aquaria. Is that to
I
continue
think,
the...
yeah, like, I think that was just to continue, like, to try and hype up some fight from last week to see if backstage they would start fighting, you know? And I feel like that's why they did it, and it made me feel, like, sick and cheap.
I don't think that's Cracker's nature to fight or pick a fight, honestly.
No, I think they made
Yeah.
Aquaria win because they wanted to see... They wanted to see if, like, Aquaria's win would lead into some sort of other fight.
But they seem like they're just currently in this episode, like, they're on good terms. Like, they're trying to push this rivalry down our throats, and it's not working, honestly.
But it might be even something bigger. Maybe it's something within the fans, because what happens is if this does go down where Aquaria wins, that has the Cracker fans, and it becomes a team this, team that. So even though it doesn't turn into fight in the workroom, it still plays on that thing that
the fandom.
Yeah, it plays on the thing that we saw that first episode. But I love their chemistry, you guys. I love the call out of the sugar daddy, and then what you mentioned earlier. You know how
good.
Cracker is taking applications for sugar daddies, and
Someone...
if you can't shade yourself, how the hell are you gonna shade somebody else? I mean, that was funny stuff.
So I do want to just take a moment to talk about Monet's look, because someone in the chat room was like, oh, how do you not like Vixen's look, but you like Monet's look? Monet's look, I actually really saw where she was going. I think what hurt her in this last outfit...
Who are you speaking of?
Monet.
Okay.
I think what hurt Monet in this last category was that she didn't make the dirt look like dirt. So what was supposed to be like a dirty space age outfit, she just kind of took marker and went like this, and she didn't really know how to distress it.
Yeah.
I think had she actually managed to make it look distressed, it would have been such a cool concept. Like, I love the way she painted the mask.
Yeah.
I love the shape on it. It was just that it was missing that one thing, which, again, I was like, I don't understand how she's in the bottom for that, but whatever.
I didn't either. I agree.
So Rue's outfit. Who did not like... I love that Rue was trying something new, because I love
We always
that.
say we want, exactly.
It's like we always say we want a new silhouette or we want a new hairstyle or something.
Yeah.
So there was, she got a new silhouette and a new hairstyle, but then it was like this red lipstick that was like all over her face, and I'm like, what happened?
Yeah.
That was total club kit. She should have done that for last season when they did the club kit
Well,
challenge.
I felt like she was trying to do the Martian. type,
totally.
Her version of it, which I like, and we've talked about that before. That I think that her look should be whatever the challenge is.
Yes, I agree
like
with that.
her version of it. And I felt like that was kind of what she was doing this time. And yes, Raven was there to do her makeup. It just,
She could have done like
that was the choice.
She could have done like 3 different looks. I mean, that would have been a lot of time.
Right, a paycheck would have had to come with that.
Yeah.
I don't mind the goal that what they tried to go with, but what made me laugh, and for any time you've ever been on a set, you see so many wasted hours of little things that almost seem unimportant. Things people with the hair and makeup. Obviously, that's a great job. It just made me laugh that this was such a big, gigantic show. And again, we've been on sets and we see like almost like a nuisance of time being wasted on, let's make sure your hair is, you know, little minuscule things. Yet this was a big old thing, you know, cloth darn near flying, and no one had the.
Someone in the chat room called it neck flob.
It was neck flob.
neck
flob. Neck
Oh,
flob.
the-
It's gonna be the next challenge.
It
in
was-
this season. Milk's gonna display it actually.
She had a gold choker that was supposed. I think it came out because if you watch, because I noticed that it was hanging down, but when it cuts back later, it's tucked inside the gold choker. So I
Yeah.
think it just came out of the choker.
But speaks to my point. All those times we've been on sets and they take every nanosecond to fix everything. It made me
right,
laugh that. No,
right.
But I think the real problem lies.
Well,
that,
they did obviously because when it cuts back to her, it is fixed.
I
but-
think the real problem was that Asia didn't finish her costume, and Asia was working on that costume as well. I was
On
trying to be
hers?
funny,
Ah,
and you took
Asia
it
was
so
like-
literal. So that womp 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 womp.
So the lip sync, I love. This is probably one of my top favorite lip syncs of all time. I
Really?
felt
It is
like
hands down my favorite.
Yeah, they.
Hands
Wait,
down.
all
Okay,
three
so
of us
my
think
favorite.
that. Ollie doesn't like it.
I thought Monet was awesome. This was probably the best lip sync of this season, but I thought Dusty didn't do that great of a job. I really don't think
no.
she did a
Please,
great
Watch it
job.
again.
I could not take my eyes
Watch it
off
again.
of Monet.
Watch it again.
Dusty was very lackluster.
I'm
I
hoping
use that
they'll
word a lot.
publish like an unedited version of it because I want it.
I would like to see that. Maybe my viewpoint would
Oh,
change, but I thought
because I
Dusty
just
did
kept going back
horrible.
and I mean, Monet won because of her. She had a couple little gimmicky moments.
Oh,
she
I
had the
love that.
ripping off the bottom. She did the shoe thing. She did the fake split.
Best
she
thing
had
ever.
she did the thing with the mask. So she had a lot of gimmicks within it. But if she hadn't done those gimmicks, I don't know who would have won. I think she would have had to keep them both because every time I kept seeing her gimmick and then it would cut to Dusty, I was like, but Dusty's killing it too. She was not. And that's hard. You're standing on that stage next to somebody that you know is killing it, and you're still, raising the level and doing it as hard as you can.
And
Rue said it. Girls in the back. My TV cut out, so I'm assuming this is what she said. Literally on that
That is
line,
how
it
you
cuts out.
lip sync, yeah.
She says, that's how you lip sync for your life, is what
Yeah.
I'm assuming she said. And I hope that they all got that because I literally think I've watched it 10 times.
And when you go back and watch the episode, all the queens in the back, their eyes are lit up. Asia specifically.
Yeah.
So that does go to what you were saying.
Yeah.
That this was a thing. We see it differently because we see it edited towards Monet
Right.
versus Dusty. But I mean, what made it really special, at least to me, Oliver, I know you said you weren't as into it. I think of it as like, these are two New York City queens who work together. Monet was just saying on a podcast recently, the first and ever time she ever did poppers was at Dusty's house. Like, to me, maybe that's why I got so like gagged by the whole thing, was because it's
Yeah.
like,
Two good friends.
and I like them both, and so
Yeah, but I guess it was hard for me in the moment because we got to see that in Untucked, but we didn't get to see that in the actual episode. We barely saw Dusty in this episode, so I really didn't know where they were going with it throughout the narrative of the episode. I didn't know who was going home. I was like, okay, is it Asia and Monet in the bottom? But lo and behold, it ended up being Dusty, and I just felt like, I don't know, I just thought Monet had it completely. So I'm sorry,
No, don't be
I
sorry.
disagree.
Don't be
That's
sorry.
okay. So our mirror moment, which is our special segment, it's about whoever had an emotional moment in the episode. And this week it was Asia, and we learned that both of her parents died when she was young.
27, I believe. Yeah.
And so she ends up being a mom figure, and she was going around backstage helping all these queens with their costumes, which led her costuming to suffer. And my heart is always open for that sort of person. Like, I love that she felt so close to these queens that she wanted to help them out. And so, like, even though I saw her outfits and I was like, oh, she's just not hitting it this episode. I felt the same way Ronnie did, which is like my heart went out to her because I see what she was doing behind the scenes.
Yeah.
And we know queens have been doing that before. We had, oh my gosh, I'm blanking.
It was a real mother type figure. What season?
Or someone who lost family young.
I can see Bianca Del Rio.
Yeah.
Bianca
She
Del
helped.
Rio was helping
She
people.
did help.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it was nice because the girls like totally stood up for her during the
Yeah.
panel. They're like,
Yeah.
yeah, she did help us.
Yeah.
And it was really heartbreaking to see her break down. And also in the episode, they didn't say that, is she the drag mother of Fifi O'Hara?
No.
No, it was
Then why is
weird
that a
because
thing?
they were all explaining that there are like 8 million O'Haras and
I
none
wasn't
of them
yeah.
are matched up.
Okay.
Well, it happens. There's other loves out there that people always ask me,
Yeah.
"Oh, are you connected to that?" And I was like,
I know
no.
that was like a rumor going on, but anyway, real quick, I just think that after this episode, I think Asia is a really strong contender for this season, for sure.
Oh yeah.
And she's just played a beautiful game. I mean, I know it's a game, and I think it was weird. Well, not weird, but all the judges made a comment like, Asia, we understand that you are being compassionate, but you have to put the support mask on yourself before you could save your child if it was a plane going down or whatever. And they were all just kind of letting her know that it's about you. But as a viewer, I'm okay with Asia maybe not going as far as she can if she wants to choose good, kinded energy. With that said, I think she'll still win, but it's kind of like with Ben de la Creme. I think these queens have such a great platform, and if they have other things that speak to them, especially in the human side, in a drag race show where it's usually really catty, it doesn't really bother me, and it makes me feel really like proud to support that person, So I get what Ru said, but I was mixed with that one.
It's nice to keep that sisterhood alive, especially with all these queens can really deal with some harsh criticism, and I think it's important for them to continue
Sorry, just to
uplifting
interrupt.
each other.
The people in the chat, I don't actually know if this is true or not, are saying that she is Fifi's drag mother.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
But if that is true, they didn't show that in the show. Like she didn't, or they edited it out.
Well,
so
they're not going to talk about Fifi.
Well, because she asked, are you related to this queen, this queen, this queen, and didn't mention.
Well, yeah, isn't Fifi was from Texas to begin with, right? I know she lived in Chicago before New York, but I think she's from Texas, so that may make some sense actually. Yeah. Oh, and I love how Asia will let you know, and with the help of Monique, that the Queen's English has not changed.
That is actually, you know what? That is actually that is a real theory. The one that Monet was bringing up, that that the British accent used to sound like our accent, and then in England it evolved, but it just stayed the same here. That's a theory. I'm not sure I buy it because our accent is so hideous. It's
Well,
our accent is so country bumpkin.
I started Googling it because I was like, oh, this is probably a good thing to look up to discuss. And since we have 2 minutes, I did find something that was saying, and I'm going to butcher how the explanation goes, but it said something like when the British English people moved here and a lot of them moved back, they did start speaking differently to show their class level. And they wanted it to, they changed the R sound, how they used to say the R sound, to make themselves seem more elite. So there was definitely a change. So she is right in that extent that something I didn't delve too far into it. I got distracted by.
But maybe it sounded more like American Southern,
Yeah.
where, because you think of all of us here have like a pretty like standard American, or like my accent's pretty Yank. It's very flat.
Right.
And so I'm like, there's no way a British person would sound like me.
Yeah.
I would think that they would have a little bit of, when you look into old like Shakespeare and they try and imitate the way that they actually spoke during Shakespeare's time, it is more like they speak more clearly, and it is a little bit more elevated. But I do understand what you're saying. I would think it's more like American Southern.
I'm sure it has changed.
It was
sure
a fun
they don't
moment.
sound
It was
exactly
a
the
fun
same.
I love them three getting together.
That's my favorite fight.
Yeah.
I thought it was the funniest thing.
Yeah.
The way their heads turned at the exact same time, it was like, girl.
Yes!
I like that. Real quick, I like that they put it in the show because that seems like a scene would be like a deleted scene, like on like VH1 or YouTube. So it's cool that they're putting in scenes that should be in the show.
Right.
So just before we leave, I do want to give some shout outs. I want to thank you guys for your patience with our last episode. When I came in here, Tony Moore told me that he agreed with Ronnie Jr., so you have that point of view. Next week, I'm not here, but Kenny Harrison will be taking my spot next week.
Yay, because we miss Kenny so much, but you're gone?
Yeah.
Okay, just one week.
And then there's another time where I'm out, and then Tony Moore will be taking my spot. So you guys have that to look forward to. Yeah. My shout outs are to That's So Jordy, C. Watkins, Nick RH, Uniquely Made, Eugenius Morflam, and Dean C. And I'm sorry if I'm butchering any of these. Thank you guys. Keep commenting on iTunes. There's an iTunes comment that's like 3 stars and it says, at least it's consistent, which made me laugh. So yeah, even if you have a funny comment, I'll read it out. So thanks you guys for tuning in.
Thank you.
Any last thoughts?
Nope.
Okay, you can find me at 123 Jackie.
I mean, that's me. Maybe they have last thoughts.
No, my only last thought is I like that there's queens that I didn't really ride with at the beginning that are rising. I like that there's queens that I love that are kind of, shaken. So it's a fun season to watch, yeah.
It's hard not to like anyone on this season for me.
Yeah. Well,
They're
sometimes.
good. Like they are good. They came to play. Like when Dusty said, "I can't figure out who the booger is," and I didn't think it was Dusty either.
I'm gonna miss Dusty. This is the one
Yeah.
I'm gonna miss. I mean,
Yeah.
I miss Vanjie and I miss Dusty. Oh.
Yeah. So you can find me at 123 Jackie B on all platforms. Mark.
You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at LoRayne Love, LoRayne
Yes, guys, I'm Ollie Drennan. Follow me on all social media platforms at Ollie Dreamer.
Ollie Dreamer with the Miss Cracker shirt. Randomly RJ, so the social media is gonna be randomly RJ. Boom.
See you guys next week.
Bye.
I won't, but.
Oh, Jackie!
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Keven Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Drag you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.